Welcome to another episode of Roll Up a Power. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured. Alright? Now look, so for this one, I'm gonna be telling y'all about Jeffrey Dye. Yeah, Jeffrey D-Y-E. Jeffrey Dye. He was a guy that I was in prison with, right? Um, I was in prison with him 2012, 2013, right? At Adrian Correctional Facility Yard. When I got there, right, this whole video is gonna be about him. You know what I'm saying? When I got there, he locked in the cell across the hall from me, right? Now the thing with him was he was very versatile. Like he fucked with everybody on the yard. You know what I'm saying? He had a lot of seniority in. So Jeffrey Dye, which he went by Die Eel, meaning he was a Moor, a Mobite, right? Now, when you a Mobite, they got these two different things you could be. It's either you a Bay or an Eel. The Bays, them more so are the calm, cool, collected guys. You know what I'm saying? That's inside of the Mobite tree. The eels is more so of the aggressive ones, you know, the crash outs, the crazy motherfuckers, right? And of course they got their meanings, but I'm just summing it up, you know, to what it is. So the bays is the cool ones, the eels is the ones that be on that tip, right? So you get either a bay or an eel under your name when you start studying it by them watching what you do on the yard. So if they see you out there cutting up, stabbing niggas and fighting and all of that, they label you an eel because you aggressive. But if you calm, cool, chill, don't be getting into shit, they'll label you a bay. You know what I'm saying? Nah, Jeffrey Dye is Die Eel. So that mean that he was the aggressive one. You know what I'm saying? His name been going around the prison system so long, we just started calling him Die Eel. Because didn't nobody want to say Die Eel. Like, it was Die Eel. It just fly out of our mouth. You know what I'm saying? So he was known by Die Eel. You know what I'm saying? But we all knew what it was, right? So what happened with him was when he was 18 years old, he caught a murder case. You know what I'm saying? He caught a murder, they gave him life. So he been in prison his whole life. By the time I bumped into him, he had like 30 years in. You know what I'm saying? He had a lot of time in. So he was like in his 50s. You know what I'm saying? Man, close to 50. I think he had like 32 years in or something. And he was about 50 years old, somewhere around there. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that was by the time I met him. You know what I'm saying? So he had already did all of that time before I even came in there. By the time I came through, moment of silence. That's the ambulance saving somebody. You know what I'm saying? Nah, like I said, he had about 30 years before I even got locked up. You know what I'm saying? He already been down. So his whole time that he been in prison doing his time and shit, he did all of that type of shit before I was even born. You know what I'm saying? So by the time I came in there, I met him, he had 30 something years in. You know what I'm saying? He locked right across the hall from me. Dail's name was known all through the prison systems. He been to every prison. Mind you, he got 30 some years in. So he been to every prison in Michigan. He was a Mobite. He was well known. He was stabbing motherfuckers, all of that. You know what I'm saying? He did all of that shit, right? So by the time I met him, he an old man now. He 50. You know what I'm saying? But his ass was still reckless. You know, he was cool, but he was still reckless at the same time, you know. And everybody like, yeah, you know, watch out, because Dail be on that tip. You know what I'm saying? And this all he was known for at the time when I got there. Like, didn't nobody tell me the other shit he be on. They was just like, hey, You know, that nigga, he'll get you together. Like, don't play with him. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Now, Dail was 50, right? Or somewhere around that age. He literally looked like he was about 30 years old, no lie. I told y'all before, prison preserved you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. Prison preserved him. So he didn't look as old as he was. Plus, he was real healthy. He ate good. You know, he ate healthy. He worked out all the time. That was his thing. He was the workout king. Like, big muscles, big shoulders, big back, traps, all of that. Like, he was, you know, stacked like that for real. He might have been like 5'8", 5'9", you know, wore glasses and shit. And he was about that life. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, all right, everybody know Dail be on that tip, all of that, blah, 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 right? Well, a couple months go down the line. And I done told y'all this before, you know what I'm saying? Sissy rolled in. The bald head Sissy, right? But he wasn't like trans. He was real sissified, but he was still like manly. You know what I'm saying? Like, he looked like George Foreman. You know what I'm saying? But when you hear him talk, he was real sissified. You know what I'm saying? He had a little walk on him and shit, you know, shit like that, right? So, like I said before, when I first hit that prison yard, it wasn't no sissies there. So everybody there was tough men on that tip, all of that shit, right? Gang, all of that, right? Well, when the George Foreman rolled in, everything changed. I done spoke on this before, how the Transformers be having niggas, you know what I'm saying, going through the roof type shit. But for this one, I'm going to just speak on Dail himself. You know what I'm saying? All right. So like I said, Dail known for being on that rah-rah. He one of the guys. He don't play that shit. Blah, 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 right? Matter of fact, let me bag it up a little bit before I go into the Transformer, right? Me and him got into it one time because he an enforcer. He's an enforcer for the Mobites. And like I said, the Mobites, they like the strongest religion gang in prison, for real. Like, the Mobites got hella numbers, you know what I'm saying? And he was an enforcer. So he was known for being on that tip. So basically, if you got into it with him, he'll look down on you like, nigga, you better stand down because everybody know who the fuck I am type shit, right? Well, got around to me. Me and him got into it one day. I wasn't playing that shit. I ain't give a fuck. Like I said, he locked right across the hall from me. You know what I'm saying? So they locked us down. We got into it. We had went to our cells and shit, right? While we walking our cells, like I said, I'm right across the hall from him. I'm standing right there in the door. I'm like, hey, come slide over here so I can whoop your ass up in here. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all that shit. You trying to be live for the audience, you know, all the other inmates and shit. Come bring your ass up in here so I can whoop your ass up in here type shit. He ain't want no smoke. He was acting like he ain't hear me or none of that. And mind you, Dail a fucking gunslinger. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna lie. I thought he was gonna get me. You know what I'm saying? Because he was known for putting out hits and doing shit. You know what I'm saying? But I just wasn't having it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna lie. I really didn't want to go there with him. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? But it went there. And I just wasn't gonna stand down. Plus, I was still new to prison. You know what I'm saying? They make you watch them videos and shit. It's like, nigga, you better go in there and be a man. That's all there's to it. Don't tuck your tail or none of that. Because as soon as you tuck your tail, that's when motherfuckers get on your ass. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, I called him out. I told him, come step in the cell, get this work. He didn't. So basically, everybody that was in the cell around us, they all seen that shit because everybody was standing in the hallway when I was calling them out. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that was another thing that made my ranking go up. What I was saying, how I became a second on the yard and all of that. I called out one of the toughest Mobites. You know what I'm saying? That was a part of why my rank went up like that, you know. Plus, he under the 5 and I'm under the 6. So, you know, that type of shit boosts my ranking up. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, he ain't want no smoke. So everybody like, damn, you called out Dail? Like, what the fuck? Woo, woo. They like, hey, watch your back. You know what I'm saying? Because he known. Man, I had to watch my back every day for like 2 months. You know what I'm saying? I mean, nothing never happened, you know? So anyway, fast forward the tape. Now here we go with the Transformer, the George Foreman looking guy, right? So when he came in, he was in a cell down the hall from where we was at. We had the back end of the hallway. The sissy, they put him in the front end of the hallway, right? So when he rolled in, like I said, a lot of guys didn't even know dog was a sissy until he got to talking. You know what I'm saying? Like he sounded like a woman, and you know, he had that little walk, like that little feminine walk, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, you would have thought he was a straight up guy, just like the rest of us. Nah, he was a sissy. You know what I'm saying? So when word got around that it's a sissy on the yard, Dail charged straight for him. You know what I'm saying? Like he ran straight down there to his cell. He was offering him shit, all of that. And George Foreman, he about 45, 50 as well. He was just bald head and looked like a regular dude, but he really was gay as hell for real, you know? Dail down there putting the works on him. Whatever the sissy need, Dail was giving it to him. Now I told y'all before that if you and the other inmate got an agreement on being in the same cell, the cops will move y'all to a cell together. You know what I'm saying? To keep the commotion down. Well, that's what Dail did. He shot a move. And he had a bunkie in his room. His bunkie didn't even know he shot a move on him. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Man, Dail shot a move on him. And Dail been in prison so long, he got seniority in there. You know what I'm saying? So he was able to go down there to the police desk like, hey, put dog in my cell. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Without even had to consulting with his own bunkie. Like, he had rank in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Man, the cops moved the sissy down there to his cell, which they shouldn't have did. What they know they wasn't supposed to have did. They had him in the front of the hall so that they could monitor him. You know what I'm saying? They know what they be doing. But like I said, Dail had that type of time in. He was able to go down there and tell, hey, move dog to my cell. And they did, you know. So now the sissy come to the back of the hallway where we at. He going to cell with Dail. Dail, old bunkie, moving his shit out, going down the hall. We all like, what the fuck going on here? You know what I'm saying? Man, come to find out, Dail shot that move to get the sissy moved in his room. Man, when he moved that motherfucker in his room, man, buns clapping every night. Dail was in there tearing that sissy off. Not lying to you. He was tearing them off every night. And when we would walk past the cell, you could smell it. Like, it smelled like two grown-ass naked men in there. Like, I don't know if you know what a grown naked man smell like, but man, imagine two of them. Two naked grown men, sweaty and stinking. That's what that cell smell like. Balls, ass. That's what the fucking room smell like. You know what I'm saying? And then it smell like sex between a man and a woman. It smell like sex between a man and a man. And I ain't never been in no room with two men that had sex before. But since I've been in prison, I know what the fuck that smell smells like. You know what I'm saying? And every time we would walk past his cell, you would smell that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's cement walls. It ain't like it ain't no insulation or nothing that'll take in so much of the smell. It's cement walls. So that smell bouncing off the walls until that door open. When that door open, the smell bounce right out in the hallway. You know what I'm saying? Man, bogus as hell. So with that being said, everybody like, damn, Dail fuck with the boys? What type of time he on? You know what I'm saying? Then words started getting around. Yeah, Dail been fucking boys. He been doing it. We like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, why ain't nobody said that he be on that? And it was like they swept it under the rug because it wasn't no sissies on the yard. And didn't nobody want to throw his name out there, you know what I'm saying, and fuck around and get stabbed up and shit. Because he was a fucking shooter. You know what I'm saying? But when the sissy finally did ride in, it was like, all right, put him on the floor. You know what I'm saying? And man, everybody was just telling stories about Dail. It was crazy, man. It was crazy how Dail been doing this. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Fleece Johnson, but Dail was another Fleece Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Like they said, as soon as he came in, he got to messing with them boys. You know what I'm saying? Come to find out, he never had got no pussy. You know what I'm saying? Before he got locked up, he ain't never did shit, none of that. He was just out here gang banging and killed the nigga on some other shit. So basically, prison was his new home. You know what I'm saying? And all he knew was men. So he got straight to it. But at the same time, he'll whoop you and take it from you. That's what he was known for. He'll whoop you and take that shit. You know what I'm saying? Well, as he started getting older, he can't, put the moves on niggas like that no more. So he just started going straight after the sissies. You know what I'm saying? Man, I learned so much about Dail because a sissy rolled in. It fucked me up. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, I used to play dominoes with the OGs in there. You know what I'm saying? All the OGs was from different hoods. You had one from my old hood, West Warren. His name was DX. DX knew my daddy. You know what I'm saying? So me and DX was real cool. You had another one from Joy Road. My man's Red. You know what I'm saying? That was my nigga. You had a nigga from the east side. We just called him East Side. You know what I'm saying? And then you had Dail. Them was the 4 guys that always played dominoes. Them guys, they knew how to play dominoes like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I knew how to play dominoes too. You know what I'm saying? And it was like they wouldn't let me on the table because I was young and they didn't know me and shit like that, Well, like I said, with me and DX, DX knew my daddy. You know what I'm saying? So DX was telling them, like, man, give him a shot. You never know. You know what I'm saying? They gave me a shot one time. I ain't get off the table since. They liked the way how I was playing. Because the way how they was playing, if you know dominoes, when it's 1, 2, 3, 4, that means it's cutthroat. Everybody for themselves. But when it's us versus them, that's when it's teams. You know what I'm saying? You play with your cross man. When it's teams, when it's us versus them. But when it's 1, 2, 3, 4, it's cutthroat. And that's how they played. They played 1, 2, 3, 4. They played cutthroat, but they played, play with your cross man. They played cutthroat on the paper, but they play with your cross man on the table. So I came in, I broke that shit up. I'm like, shit, we playing cutthroat, it's cutthroat. So I cut everybody out, so I win the game. You know what I'm saying? They like that shit about me. I didn't play that cross man shit. You know what I'm saying? So that was another way how my ranking started going up. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of ways you can get your ranking up in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Well, the OGs fucking with me. That's what turned my ranking up some more, because now the OGs fucking with me because they see I know what I'm doing on that domino table. So after we get off the table, we be talking little shit. They learning about me. They fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Well, like I said, Dail was one of the guys always on the domino table. So when I told you before, me and him got into it, you know what I'm saying? It went from that to the sissy riding in to now me and him on the domino table. And we got cool as hell. You know what I'm saying? We never touched each other or none of that. We just got cool because of the dominoes type shit. You know what I'm saying? So it went from we was about to go to war to motherfucking we cool as hell now. You know what I'm saying? We be talking shit, cracking jokes, all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But when it was time to lock down, he went in that cell with his boyfriend and he tore his ass up every night. Like, that shit was sick. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, plus all the stories that was going on about him, it was crazy. But this the thing with Dail, Like I said, he was real active. You know what I'm saying? He worked out all the time, every day. You know what I'm saying? He was gangbanging with the Vice Lords. He wasn't too heavy on it, but he was rotating with them because he under the 5. You know what I'm saying? He was studying with the Moors every day. You know what I'm saying? He had his name with the Mobites. He was very active. You know what I'm saying? Like, very active. He wasn't ducking no smoke. He always came outside. You know what I'm saying? He always had this aggressive ass look on his face, like he had knocked you the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, he was cool as hell for real. Like, you just had to get to know him to understand, like, he really wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course he had to defend himself, do what he had to do, but he wasn't like a monster like what you would have thought he was by looking at him. You know what I'm saying? And as time went on, me and him, we got to talking. We became cool as hell. You know what I'm saying? And he was just telling me shit about him. And he was telling me, how he lost his life at a young age. And he like, man, look, I don't want you to end up like me. He like, you see that I fuck with the boys. That's what he was telling me. He like, I got a boyfriend in my cell and we do our thing. He was like, you don't want to end up like this. He like, this is my home. This is my reality. He like, you just got a couple of years. You just coming and going. But he like, this is me on a daily. You know what I'm saying? He was like, you don't want to end up like this. Man, fuck my head up. Again, it went from me and him going at it like we about to go to war to now we having a whole sit down and he telling me like, yeah, I fuck with boys, you know what I'm saying? But he wasn't on that like he was trying to fuck with me or none of that type of shit, It was just, he had his pick of the litter that he liked. And at that time, he was on the sissy time, you know what I'm saying? And he had got him a sissy. He moved that motherfucker in his cell and he was happy, He went from always having that mean ass look on his face to being happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he had got a sissy in his cell. Man, out cold, you feel me? But this is prison, man. And he the same one. He had a wife. I know y'all be seeing these TV shows, women be finding these guys in prison and be marrying them while they in prison and shit. That's exactly what happened with him. Some girl found him, you know what I'm saying? Or he found her, however the fuck it happened. I don't know how it happened. But he started talking to a woman. They got locked in like that. Next thing you know, that's his wife. They didn't legally get married, but he calling her his wife. She don't know that he and her fucking boys. I mean, yeah, he got a life sentence, but a lot of them women, they just be intertwined with these prison dudes because they be so infatuated with their life and they be bored, don't be having nothing going on, don't no man in the world want them, so they end up settling for a prison guy. It happened all the time, you know what I'm saying? And this was one of them situations. That woman, she settled for Dail. And he would come, she would come visit him. She sent him money, sent him pictures, all type of shit. And she was straight as hell. I guess she just wasn't intriguing to nobody out there. You know what I'm saying? So she gave all her time and devotion to him, and she didn't know that he was in there fucking a boy in his cell type shit, And this is what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people don't know that. Y'all be hearing these guys in prison talk, oh, I'm good. Me and my niggas, whoa, on all that tough man shit. But as soon as they bang that line, they go in they cell with their boyfriend, man. It's sad, And I was just basically what this whole video was about was awareness. Be careful of them people that you have in prison that contact you and make it seem like everything's straight. They just got it like that. They good. They don't got to worry about nothing. All of that. Most of the time, them same type of guys, especially when they got a lot of time, I'm telling you, they in there fucking. They ain't gonna tell you that. Because if they tell you that, guess what? You gonna look at them different. You probably gonna stop sending them shit. You probably not gonna answer their phone calls like that. You know what I'm saying? So they ain't gonna tell you that. But for a guy like me that was in there with them, I know this firsthand. And I ain't lying because I gave you dog name, first and last name. You can look him up yourself. His prison number 149-800. Jeffrey Dye. I done looked him up 1,000 times. He is not on Otis. I think what happened to him was, I think he passed away. You know what I'm saying? Because when that happened, they take you out the system. You gone now. And he had a life big. If he had an out date, then I would have been like, hey, he probably out here in the world. But he didn't have an out date. He had letters. He had life. L-I-F-E. He was done. So I'm thinking he didn't pass away. Like I said, by the time I met him, he was about 50. So now he be like 60 something. You know what I'm saying? So he probably passed away in there, But that was the story of Jeffrey Dye, man. He was on that tip, and then he'd go in his cell, and be on that tip with his bunkie. You know what I'm saying? So this strictly for awareness, man. If you know a guy that's in prison doing a lot of time, I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, he in there getting stuck or he sticking something. It's been another episode of Roll Up a Power Up. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured.